there, everybody. It's been a while, but time for another weather chat. There's a lot to talk about, too. After weeks, literally almost a month of some really stagnant weather, things are starting to change. Those changes slow at first, but as we get into this weekend and next week, those changes are going to be bigger and likely more impactful. Maybe you've seen the headlines going around. I know we're talking about it, too. Atmospheric river and the moisture it's going to provide for a storm system that'll be coming this weekend into early next week. Maybe even a second one coming up ahead of Christmas. Now, Christmas is 9 days away, so there's still lots of time for things to change. Not a whole lot of detail just yet, but a lot of you are probably traveling this weekend. Maybe you've got people coming into town this weekend or early next week. I'll show you what we know for now, and we'll also talk about some of the rain chances coming up in the next couple of days, because we do have a couple, starting with tomorrow morning and then again on Friday afternoon. But I'm here to answer your questions. I'm watching the KCRA Facebook page as well as my Facebook page. If you've got specific questions for where you live, let me know. Just post them in the comments, and I'll do my best to check on them as we go throughout the next 20-30 minutes or so, however long we're hanging out. I was kind of laughing at this. It shouldn't be newsworthy. It's kind of sad that it's newsworthy, but Sacramento and Stockton today hit 50 degrees for the first time in almost 2 weeks. December 4th was the last time we had a high warmer than 49 for Sacramento, and that high was 50 degrees. This has been quite a stretch, and of course, even on that day where we did hit 50 on December 4th, we still had the low clouds and fog. We've really only had one day this month where things completely broke free. That was, I believe, December 3rd, when we were actually in the 60s. So yeah, we've been slogging through it in the lower elevations. We've had the clouds, we have not had the rain. Meanwhile, the foothills and the Sierra have been warm. They want the rain and the snow. We're going to be getting the rain. The snow, not yet. Not with what we're going to see tonight and tomorrow, not with what we're going to see on Friday. And for now, it looks like not what we're going to see on Sunday or Monday either. So we're going to take it one step at a time. We'll start with what's coming up for tomorrow, and we'll jump ahead to Friday. So here's our in-house model, one of our higher resolution models. Best rain out of the system is going to come overnight. This is 7 o'clock Wednesday morning. Parts of Highway 50, certainly up above Folsom Lake, we'll see some light to moderate rain. South Lake, Echo Summit, Donner Summit, Truckee, it's just rain. That snow level is going to be probably up above 10,000 feet, so snow not a concern. It's going to be breezy over the summits through most of the day on Wednesday. Nothing that an experienced trucker can't handle, but not exactly pleasant up at the higher elevations. By the time we get to midday tomorrow, the rain will be done for the valley. I think we'll still have some clouds lingering, but there will be areas where we see some sun. Still kind of gray there on the west slope. I do think we'll get at least a couple of hours of some blue sky in the valley, and that should help propel us at least into the upper 50s. Some spots in the valley will hit 60 degrees tomorrow. That's going to feel really nice. So tomorrow's showers, not very impressive, just enough to kind of dampen the roads in the foothills and the Sierra, and that's about it. This is Thursday morning. Not what we want to hear, but this will be another deck of low clouds for the valley. I don't think it sticks around all day. It thins out a little bit, but then we've got some higher clouds coming in over top of it. But Thursday's going to be a dry day the entire day. Thursday's a good day to run some errands. I know I sent a few packages that I was hoping to get to their destinations by Christmas today. I think Thursday would be your last opportunity, depending on where it's going to go. So Thursday's a good day to run some errands. Friday morning commute is dry. But here comes our next system. This one a little bit better in air quotes there, compared to what we'll see tonight and into Wednesday. That is, it's actually going to wet the roads in the valley for a couple of hours. It is going to be soggy into the foothills. You see a little bit of snow showing up here on this particular model, but what I will say, the longer you work with forecast models, you learn their tendencies, you learn their biases. This one I'm showing you tends to be a little too cold. So even though it's showing snow here, I don't think we're going to see snow below 8,000 feet. And of course, Donner Summit and Echo Summit are both closer to 7,000 feet, so nothing to impact travel. and nothing exciting snow-wise for the resorts. This will keep blasting out of here by the time we get to Friday night. We're going to be dry in the valley. We'll be drying out into the foothills and the Sierra. So yeah, just kind of wetting our palates a little bit with rain chances, getting used to the idea of having the umbrella around. I think Friday's the day where you really want to have the rain jacket handy, or at least a jacket with a hood. Temperatures probably in the 50s again for the valley, so yeah, not terribly warm. Likely be in the low 50s in the foothills too before that rain comes in. And for the Sierra, Friday, it's just plain rain. But we've got bigger changes coming up Saturday night, Sunday into Monday. Talking about a storm system with some atmospheric river moisture tied to it. So bear with me for a second. I will cue up some visuals to help tell that story. All right, so when it comes to locating an atmospheric river, if you're unfamiliar with that term, it's not terribly new. It has certainly become more in vogue thanks to social media, but it's something that the forecasting community, the meteorology community, has been using for a couple of decades now. It just so happens that the phrase atmospheric river grabs a lot of attention in search engines when it comes to headlines. That's why you see it a lot more than we did, say, 5 or especially 10 years ago. But anyway, I digress. Atmospheric rivers, we're talking about water vapor high up in the atmosphere, up around 10, 20, 30,000 feet. So the atmospheric river itself isn't actually water, not liquid water, it's water vapor. And that water vapor, when it gets picked up by a storm system and run over terrain, like the west slope of the Sierra, it turns into heavy rain. So that's why I particularly am really careful about how I use the phrase atmospheric river. You see a lot of people saying atmospheric river storm. That's oversimplifying. I get why, again, it fits in a headline better. But this is a storm system that will be tapping into atmospheric river moisture. The storm interacting with land is what converts that atmospheric river moisture into rain. Another soapbox moment. So what we're looking at here is water vapor in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. Call it precipitable water. If we were to squeeze the atmosphere like a sponge, how much water could we get out of it? And these deeper blues and purples, those are atmospheric rivers. California's over here. Hawaii is, oh, it's really hard to see on this viewpoint. Hawaii is right there. So this is the newest run of our model. This is just updating within the past 30 minutes or so. It's about halfway in, so we should be able to look at least at this weekend as this comes through. So interestingly, got a little tap of some of that atmospheric river moisture pointed at us right now. I would certainly not call the showers that we will see tonight an atmospheric river. But you see as we go, this is now Thursday. That tap of moisture is now pointed at coastal Oregon. Thursday's a dry day for us in Northern California. This is later Friday night into Saturday. So here's that atmospheric river getting picked up by that storm system and directed into Northern California. And notice how it just kind of lingers there. This is Sunday. That's when that jet is kind of pointed right at Interstate 80. Here's Monday, still hanging around, but notice how it's weakening. And then we get a little break Tuesday, but this is what we'll be watching for Christmas Eve, potentially another surge of moisture coming up from the south. So that's what those atmospheric rivers, those rivers in the sky look like. That's what the water vapor looks like. What does it actually translate to as far as rain and snow goes? That's the better question, because that's, of course, what affects us. So let's switch views here real quick. Bear with me. Okay. So same model, it's the American model, except now I've turned it from water vapor into water that's actually going to fall out of sky, precipitation. Where green is rain, blue is snow, we're starting with right now. Again, we've already examined tomorrow. Light showers in the morning, dry on Thursday. And then there's that little system dropping in Friday afternoon. Here's 7 o'clock Saturday morning. There may be a shower or two, but if you want to find time this weekend where it's going to be dry, I think Saturday morning is your best bet. The early afternoon may be okay too. This is 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Here's the edge of that atmospheric river moisture, that tap just starting to turn on. So later Saturday, Saturday night, late Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, this kind of lifts to the north. So that's pretty typical with these atmospheric river type patterns. You kind of see the flow of moisture kind of ebbs and flows from south to north, and then it drops back south again. That's all being steered by upper level winds in the atmosphere. And the trick for us is figuring out where that line is going to pass. So let's back this up one more time. Again, Saturday, the drier of the 2 weekend days. I think we could still see a couple of showers. But this is 4 o'clock Sunday morning, 4 p.m. on Sunday. So again, a steady stream of rain, especially for the coast. It's going to be very wet for coastal areas Sunday into Monday. Rain, as it typically does, kind of breaks up a little bit around the Diablo Range and again around the coastal range. So parts of the Sacramento and San Joaquin valleys getting rain shadowed as usual, but the rainfall amounts pick up quite a lot into the foothills. This is, again, 4 p.m. Sunday. Notice what you don't see. Tahoe's here. Yeah, maybe some wet snow in the highest elevations of the South Sierra, but that's just rain for Tahoe. As we go into Monday, there may be some snow that briefly mixes in. That's Monday morning. But then Monday afternoon into Tuesday, as this lifts to the north, things warm up once again. So Sunday and Monday are going to be interesting days. Days where we see steady rain somewhere in Northern California, days where it gets a little bit breezy as well, but because of where that moisture is coming from. Remember, I showed you that atmospheric river tapped in towards Hawaii. If you've been here a while, you used to hear it called a pineapple express. Yeah, that's technically what this would be. But when moisture comes from the equator, essentially, it's got a lot of warm air to overcome. It typically means that snow levels are going to be high, and I think that's a good bet for this round as we go through Sunday into Monday. Now, as far as rainfall amounts go, this is where it gets really tricky. Right? We don't like talking specific amounts this far out because we're talking Sunday, Monday, and it's Tuesday. So we're talking day 5 and day 6 at this point. This is going to change a lot. But here's what I can show you. These are rain totals through Monday. Now keep in mind, tomorrow morning showers and Friday showers are in with this total as well. So Friday we could see maybe up to 0.2 of an inch of rain in Sacramento. So you take that out. 1 to 1.5 inches of rain possible in the valley Sunday into Monday. The bigger focus, though, as it always is with these atmospheric river type storms, is the rain that we could see on the west slope of the Sierra, and that's this bullseye here. That's what we're going to be watching very carefully, where the biggest numbers are going to be. But you know, around, say, 1,500 to 2,000 feet, places like Placerville, places like Auburn, 3-4 inches. Again, these are 2-day totals. 3 to 4 inches of rain in the foothills after 4 weeks of dry weather is not a problem. But it could be quite wet. And then as you go up to, say, Blue Canyon, 8, 9, 10 inches of rain. Those are big numbers. If you would tell somebody on the East Coast that they were going to get 8 or 9 inches of rain in 2 days, that would be a big deal. But Blue Canyon, there's a lot of room for all of that to run off. We got plenty of space in the reservoirs. This is needed rain at this point. After a 4-week break, yeah, we got to catch up a little bit, although we had a really strong start to the water year too. What we really need is snow, and I'll show you the snow map. It's not pretty. And this has been really consistent with these last two runs, and you know, I don't expect a whole lot to change unless we get some miracle burst of cold air coming in from the north. But when you've got a system that comes up from the south like this, it's just not good for snow. So this is through Monday evening, about 7 p.m. on Monday. This is total accumulated snowfall, maybe a couple of inches, and that would be like Sunday night into Monday. I don't even think we'll see enough for chain controls. Higher elevations of Tuolumne County, Mariposa, Fresno County. Yeah, you may do okay there, but we're talking places that are above 10,000 feet. Yeah, I wish the news were better in that regard. But general takeaways here. Saturday's going to be the better of the 2 weekend days to be outdoors. Sunday, as we get a little bit closer, we're going to be able to line up where that corridor of moisture is pointed, because I do think there will be some spots, especially in the valley, where we get a little bit of dry time as maybe things shift to the north or shift back to the south. That's something that we time out a little bit better when our high resolution models can see that. And that would be like Thursday, Friday is when we're going to be able to start to pin that down. Monday, for anybody going to work like me, maybe you're off, maybe you're starting your traveling, expect there to be rain on Monday. Expect it to be breezy, expect roads to be soggy, expect to need the windshield wipers. It is gonna be slow. But for those traveling in the Sierra right now, it doesn't look like chain controls are gonna be an issue, but rain, a little bit of wind, we're gonna have to contend with that. So decent little storm system coming our way. It'll be interesting to see how the rainfall amounts play out. All right, I've been doing a lot of talking. Let's check out some of the comments. William says, sounds like it's time to change my wipers. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. And if your car is like mine, if it gets parked outside a lot, just pick up the wipers, give them a little swipe with a sponge, make sure all the dust that's been accumulating over the last 3 or 4 weeks is taken care of. Vicky on my Facebook page saw sunset today. Yeah, I did too. It's funny how, you know, those little things get taken away, like sunshine and mild temperatures. When you lose them for a few weeks, when they come back around, even just a little hint of it, it's nice. Greg says, Pineapple Express. I can't tell if you're asking that in response to me saying that, or if you were asked that ahead of me saying that. But yeah, the system that we've got coming in Sunday into Monday, it's atmospheric river moisture. The old school term is the Pineapple Express when that moisture comes from an area around the Hawaiian Islands. So that's just a sign that it's going to be a warm storm and a wet storm. Rich is checking in from the Lodi and Woodbridge area. Lodi could see a couple of showers early tomorrow morning. Nothing too terribly exciting. All right, let's see how much of this is loaded in. If it's loaded in far enough, we can take a look at Christmas week. All right, it is. So let's take a gander. Okay, so we'll back this up to Monday night. This is our first storm system. The moisture tap's still kind of lingering, but I think we get a break on Tuesday. And by we, I mean Sutter County southward, Placer County southward. Get a little bit of a break while everything kind of points towards the north coast, North Sierra. As we go into Tuesday night and into Wednesday, this is Wednesday morning, this is where we start to see maybe hints of some better snow. Wednesday is Christmas Eve, by the way. Again, more than a week away. This is going to change. I'll do a comparison to what we saw 6 hours ago from the same model just to show you. But models have been at least suggesting the idea of at least a little bit of colder air punching in for a bit. But this is Thursday. Yeah, that's Christmas Day. That has the potential to be a wet day. Doesn't look like a windy day for the Central Valley, but it could be kind of slushy and just kind of sloppy over the Sierra too. I'm intentionally not getting too specific with Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but let's just see if that holds true. Rudolph's services may be needed. So that's the latest run. Just for comparison, I want to show you what happened 6 hours ago with the same model. Back it up to, again, this is Monday night. So the remnants of our storm system, it's lifting north. We get a break-ish for most of Tuesday. And then Wednesday, the system loops back in. It kind of lingers into part of the day on Thursday. So worth watching. The National Weather Service, the Climate Prediction Center is highlighting well above normal precipitation likely. Again, normal precipitation for that like 3 or 4 day stretch, so keep in mind it's a relatively small number to begin with. Yeah, the models have been pretty consistent on showing stormy weather for parts of California for Christmas Eve and for Christmas Day. So if you're going to be traveling either of those days, just keep that in mind. It's, it's not time to cancel any plans yet. It's not time to, do anything drastic. As we get a little bit closer, of course, we're going to have better details for you on that. But yeah, that system, as we go through Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, has the potential to bring at least some better snowfall. Doesn't look like a blockbuster at this point, but hey, maybe over a foot for 7,000 feet plus, that would certainly be a positive. And I know for the resorts, they want their snow ahead of Christmas so people can ski on it during Christmas. Yeah, we weren't able to time it out this time around. But once we get beyond Christmas week, things kind of go quiet again for a little bit. So interesting weather pattern coming up here with certainly some wet days Sunday and Monday. Again, inch and a half of rain for parts of the valley. That looks likely. 3 to 6 inches of rain for the lower foothills. 6 to 10 inches of rain for a spot like Blue Canyon. Not much in the way of snow for the Sierra, but chances for more in the way of some wintry weather as we get ready for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So that can mean some big travel headaches. Keep that in mind if you got people coming into town. I know I'm going to be heading out for my family travels the day after Christmas, so I'm crossing my fingers that airport operations are all good. I watch the weather for my own personal reasons, just like you do too. All right. We spent about 20 minutes talking about weather here. It'll be interesting to watch the models as they turn. Always dramatic, especially with these atmospheric river type storms coming through. Of course, we'll have details posted at kcra.com, and we're live. I'll be on at 10 o'clock on KQCA and then 11 o'clock tonight on KCRA. Give my social media pages a follow. I'll be posting updates on there as well. But have a good rest of your night, and we'll talk.